Turn to question 10. I call on the Honourable Member for Ramsey, Mr Hooper.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I'd like to ask the Minister for Health and Social Care when people will be able to be routinely prescribed medicinal cannabis and related medicinal products on the island.
I call on the Minister for Health and Social Care to reply.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. At present, there is no policy in place to allow for the funding of medicinal cannabis products on Ireland, and the routine funding of cannabis-based medicinal products will be dependent on both the availability of better clinical and cost-effectiveness data and also, crucially, the funding review for the DHSC, which is currently underway. It will also, of course, require prescribing clinicians who, under existing legislation, are on the General Medical Council Specialist Register and have the appropriate skills and competencies to undertake these functions. An internal consultation is being undertaken to assess this position and to work with clinicians around the appetite for wider prescribing.
Supplementary question, Mr Hooper.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'd like to thank the Minister for that answer. The Department originally consulted on this back in March 2019, and at the time the consultation response was essentially exactly what the Minister has just told me. So it feels like a year and a half on, we haven't made any progress at all in terms of looking at the legislation, rolling out training to GPs to enable those GPs who do want to prescribe medicinal cannabis products on the island to be able to do so. So I wonder if the Minister could provide us with an update on exactly how much progress has been made and when we're expecting to see some kind of output or outcome from all the work that's going on.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. We did go out to GPs with a survey in the department not long after the consultation to view the appetite for prescribing at a primary care level. While there were some GPs that were exceptionally enthusiastic about the idea, the majority of the responses were not. So what we are trying to do, and can I say, Mr Speaker, and I'm happy to put on record again, my personal view is I do want to see prescribing at a primary care level. I think at the moment it is far too restrictive with it being someone on the General Medical Council register. That is my personal view, and I am frustrated at how slow progress has been. But we are looking to see what we can do in terms of GP training and to see if we can carry clinicians with us, because that is the crucial thing, Mr Speaker. We've got to take the clinicians with us, because otherwise we end up in the situation that's been seen in other countries in the world where they have allowed prescribing of medicinal cannabis, but they've got no one willing to prescribe it.
Supplementary question, Mr Hooper.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. Just one final question for the Minister. He's talked extensively about the need to consult the GPs and make sure they want to prescribe. Absolutely the right thing to do. But he also mentioned in his original answer the need to make legislative change as well in order to make sure the right regulations were in place to enable this to happen. Can he advise us on where he's at with that piece of work?
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. We have to work collaboratively, so that would come, my understanding is it can be done by regulation, so it's an amendment. At the moment we mirror the UK regulations, which is, it obviously says the specialist register from the GMC. My understanding is we can make the change relatively quickly, as my understanding, once we've got agreement, but I'd want to get the clinicians on board first, Mr Speaker. I wouldn't want to look to be trying to legislate to force clinicians into things.
Please like and subscribe to the Isle of Man TV channel. Thank you.